All right, so we've officially lost 9 games in a row, and a lot of people are saying that the Miami Heat should tank. But we know, if you've been following, you're a true Heat fan, y'all know how the Miami Heat operate. They're against tanking. They're always going to talk about retooling. And knowing us, we're probably going to turn things around and stay in the 10th seed. Because when I look at the standings and I see the other teams in the conference, the next closest team is the Raptors, and they only have 24 wins. So it's like we started out strong despite the record not being good, for us to be like a legit lottery team like the Wizards or the Hornets. And that means that statistically, I think if we lost every single game, we probably would finish top 8, which doesn't really guarantee that you can get into the top 4. I mean, they said it's like a 26% chance. If that's the case, that the Heat decide to lose out and maybe finish like as the 8th worst team in the NBA, and they do the whole lottery pick thing. But I don't know, this draft class is pretty good, man. I wouldn't mind if Miami is drafting like a top 10 player, but that top 10 player will really have to pan out though, because a lot of people are losing faith in Tyler Hero and Bam, and so you gotta wonder what is the future for Miami, because if your future is Tyler and Bam, I don't think people feel like those two players can lead you to a championship. So with that said, I guess both players are probably going to end up getting traded, or somebody's going to get traded, because I can't see a scenario where Tyler Hero and Bam are your best players and the Miami Heat get back to the finals and actually win. So, that player that would lead them there would have to be really good. I mean, obviously, Jimmy Butler's a good player, but he couldn't do it. But, a lot of people are asking for Eric Spoelstra to get fired, because Eric Spoelstra has always been a defensive coach. Anybody who respects Eric Spoelstra respects him because of his defense. A lot of people know about Eric Spoelstra's rotation, and they know that the offense that Eric Spoelstra runs really isn't that great. And I mean, this might be the first time we've actually lost 9 games, unless we're talking about going way back in time. I mean, last time the Miami Heat lost 8 games in a row was 2008. So 9 games, I couldn't even find nothing on the Miami Heat losing 9 games in a row. This might be historic. And the next team that we're going to play is Houston, so it could be 10 games in a row. So, it just makes you wonder, like, should the Miami Heat just tank and, start rest? Well, you can't rest players because, I mean, you can, but I don't see them resting players. They can honestly just keep everybody healthy and still lose games the way they're playing, because, everybody's seeing it. Second quarter, you look solid. You get to the fourth quarter, and then you just can't score. So instead of doing a recap or anything, honestly, I'm just gonna look at the stats. And as I look at the stats from this previous game here, realistically, outside of Cade, nobody really did that great for the Pistons. But when it comes to the Miami Heat, you got your 30 points from Bam, you got your 29 points from Tyler Hero, and Duncan Robinson, Davion, Kel, they did all right. But, if you're getting 30 from your top 2 players and still losing, then obviously you're going to need more from the team. Wiggins didn't play, and maybe that made a difference. Maybe we needed Wiggins to beat a Detroit Pistons team, which you can't think lowly of anymore, because they're the 6th seed. They are where we should be. We should be the 6th seed. If you want this team to compete, that's where you would think this team would be. You think would be the 6th best team in the East and not have to do a play-in tournament game. But instead, we will be doing a play-in tournament. And, when I look at the numbers for the overall game, it's the usual script, 32 points for the Miami Heat in the first quarter versus their 22. Then you get to the fourth quarter and they score 28 versus our 20. So you would think a good coach like Eric Spoelstra would be able to figure that out and figure out what he needs to do with the rotation. But we already know that most Miami Heat fans don't like Eric Spoelstra's rotation. So I don't know, guys. What do you guys want the Miami Heat to do? Do you want them to start winning games and trying to compete for? I mean, at this point, you'd have to go on just like how we went 9 losses in a row. You have to probably go 9 wins in a row just to even compete for that 6th seed. Because the top 2 seeds are already locking up, and usually when we start seeing that lets you know that the season's about to wrap up. There's only so many more games left in the season, and as I look at the remaining games, we got about 9 more games. You literally would have to win. Let me see. Yeah, we got 9 games exactly. Actually, no, we got a little bit more than that. We got about, so you got 9, 10, got about 12 games left. You'd have to win like 9 out of the 12 games probably to even try to compete for the 6th seed. But, you know, if you're playing this bad towards the end of the season, I think most people are going to lean towards the Miami just packing it up, man, and just losing out and trying to go for a top 4 seed, because we need a player that has a high ceiling, and I don't think Tyler Hero or Bam have high ceilings. They're good option 3s maybe on a contending team. No disrespect to them, but I don't know. Y'all tell me what y'all think below.